Hello, my name is Carl Brooks, and today we're going to be talking about plyometrics and resistance trainings and its effect on the long jump performance. And so let's begin. So for our intro, we're going to be talking about the study. So this study investigated which training method increased lower body strength in the long jump. The two training groups will be the resistance only training, which we call ROT, and the resistance and plyometric mixed group, which is the RPM. The research hypothesis is that the RPM group will receive higher marks than the ROT group after 6 weeks of training. So basically what we're doing is one set is going to only do resistance training only, so they're going to be doing weightlifting normally. The other group is going to be doing weightlifting, but they're going to add on plyometric training as well. And then we're going to see with the same long jump test, which side comes out with the most improvement, and we'll go from there. So why do we need further research in this area? Studies have shown that the resistance and plyometric workouts positively affect strength and flexibility. According to our source, when working out, you want to get maximum out of your body. Learning about training methods and how to use them together will increase your chances of finding improvement in your chosen sport. So that it is known that resistance training and plyometric training increases strength and flexibility. What happens when you combine training methods? Which training methods can be combined and which ones should not? In order to answer these questions, we must first take this first step and start combining training methods and seeing what your body can do under the right training regimen. So within this study, we want to just kind of start to look at different training methods and how to mix them together in order to make a better training method as a whole. So our research question is going to be, what are the effects of resistance training with plyometric workouts? So the RPM group versus the resistance training alone, which is the ROT group, on lower muscular strength in the long jump. Our hypothesis is going to be, the research hypothesis is that the RPM group will receive higher marks than the ROT group after a 6-week training period. So in this instance, we're not really talking about higher marks as a whole because everybody is different and everybody's at different skill levels. But what we mean by higher marks is they're going to get more improvement. So if one jumper, for instance, jumps 15 feet and after 6 weeks in the RPM group, they're now able to do 15 feet. Well, that's a whole foot improvement. So if there's somebody else that's jumping 20 feet and they improve to 20 feet 2 inches, well, a foot is more improvement than a couple inches. So we're going to see what the improvement is. So next up is our methods. So participants, we're going to get 20 male subjects and they will be recruited for this study. And they will randomly be assigned to one of two groups. The subjects will be of 18 years of age. The subjects with a known history of injury or surgery on the lower body or cardiac and respiratory disease are not able to participate in the study for health-related reasons. All of the subjects of this study will be required to sign a written informed consent in order to participate. So just to keep ourselves legally in balance, we want to make sure that our subjects, our participants understand what's going on, what's going to happen in the study, and what we expect. Next up is going to be our procedures. So both groups will train twice a week for 6 weeks. One group will be the resistance only training like we talked about before, the ROT group. And the second group will be called the resistance and plyometric mix, which is the RPM group. and there will be no control group. So it will only be 2 groups in this study, and subjects will be tested before and after training to measure their lower body strength, their speed, as well as their agility. But this is all going into the long jump. So to continue with our methods, our statistical test will be using, since we're using pre and post data, we will be using the gain score analysis to conduct and compare the long jump distances, or the improvement in the long jump distances for both the ROT and the RPM groups. The alpha will be set at 0.05. Thus, differences will be considered to be statistically significant if p-values were less or more than 0.05. So here's our results for our t-test 2 sample, assuming equal variances, or our gain score analysis. So for the ROT group, the resistance only, they had a mean of 0.42 and a variance of 0.075111. And on the other side, you can see the RPM group is at a gain score of 0.87 with a variance of 0.23. So you can see in this case, the mean and the variance are quite higher than on the RPM side. So next up, our findings. So the increase in the long jump distance was greater for the resistance and plyometric group. And once again, they had a mean of 0.87 and a variance of 0.23 compared to the ROT group with a mean of 0.42 and a variance of 0.075. In conclusion, the results show the average change in lower body strength shown in the distance of the long jump test was greater in the RPM group than the ROT. The alpha is set at 0.05 and the RPM mean score was at 0.87, which means that this is statistically significant. This study proves the research question correct by stating that the RPM group has a greater improvement than the ROT group and rejecting the null. Discussion. The results in this research study are relevant to the real world because understanding how different exercise methods can work together is essential for a coach or trainer's success. This expertise builds a workout culture that benefits the athlete and exerciser by allowing them to meet goals or assisting them to meet goals. The expertise also benefits the trainer because they can assist athletes in meeting goals safely and more efficiently. When training for a specific event or movement, trainers want to be able to put together a combination of workout methods that deliver a specific result. For example, the long jump test requires lower body and core strength. With the right mixture of exercise mixed safely with additional methods, athletes can reach their goals and possibly exceed them. So for our results, for future research and conclusions, the first recommendation I would give would be to look into resistance training and plyometric training versus resistance training and kettlebell training. Compare different add-on exercise regimens will be the next step. So when we talk about combining different exercise regimens or models, we want to see what will work best within your given skill set and sport. So for instance, we've been using the long jump example, so we'll continue with that. With the lower body and core strength, plyometric training helps explosiveness and speed. So it is beneficial for us to try that mixture with resistance training because that is the result we're trying to get. So if you're trying to get more power or something like that, you would use resistance training mixed with a kettlebell like we're talking about here. But that will be my first one. and my first future research. And so that is our presentation for today. Thank you very much. My name is Carl Brooks. Have a blessed day.